Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabi Adi Radha Madhava Kunjabi Adi Gopijana Balabha Girivara Dadi Gopijana Balabha Girivara Gopijana Balabha Girivara Dadi Gopijana Balabha Girivara Jasodhanandana Brajanadandana Jasodhanandana Brajanadandana Jamuna Tira Vanam Tadi Jamuna Tira Vanam Tadi Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabi Adi Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabi Adi Gopijana Vallabha Girivara Dadi Gopijana Vallabha Girivara Dadi Gopijana Vallabha Girivara Dadi Girivadadadi Jasodhanandana Brajanadandana Jasodhanandana Brajanadandana Jamuna Tira Vanachadi Jamuna Tira Vanachadi Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabihari Radha Madhava Kunjabiha Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabihari Madhava Kunjabihari Jayom Vishnu Paramahamsa Srimad His Divine Grace, Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki, Gaur Pimanandi. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Month of Damodar. We're reading from the Damodar pastime. Canto 10, Chapter 9, text number 15, 16, and 17 for this evening. In the morning class we began verse 15, so we're going to continue. There's commentary along with Prabhupada's purports. So text 15 reads, when Mother Yashoda was trying to bind the offending child, she saw that the binding rope was short by a distance of the width of 2 fingers. Thus she brought another rope to join to it. Jiva Goswami's commentary reads, she wanted to tie him up because he was her son, since she should not ignore teaching, and as she could with other boys. The first rope was 2 fingers too short by chance. All the later ropes, tied together, were also 2 fingers too short, through his vibhuta shakti, because of his stubborn nature as a small child. He could not be brought under control if 2 elements, Pramarupa, listen to these 2 elements, it's effort and mercy. 1. Special, intense prema of his devotee. 2. His special mercy arising because of that prema. If they were lacking in these 2 elements, he could not be brought under control. Later it is said that, quote, seeing her fatigue, he agreed to be tied up. That's text 18. We're on 15. She, Yashoda, got other ropes. Hearing the mother scold her child while he cried, neighboring gopis arrived and laughed as they gave her more rope. And then text 16. The new rope was also short by a measurement of 2 fingers. And when another rope was joined to it, it was still 2 fingers too short. As many ropes as she joined, all of them failed. Their shortness could not be overcome. And Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes in his commentary, very short, Bandhanam means the cord by which he was to be bound. Whatever cord she made was 2 fingers short. And Jiva Goswami writes, because the rope was short, she joined other rope. When she obtained more rope, bandhanam, it was also 2 fingers too short. Seeing her endeavor, befitting her maternal mood, his vibhuti shakti maintained itself, and every time the rope was 2 fingers short. Text 17 reads, thus Mother Yashoda joined whatever ropes were available in the household, but still she failed in her attempt to bind Krishna. Mother Yashoda's friends, the elder gopis in the neighborhood, were smiling and enjoying the fun. Similarly, Mother Yashoda, although laboring in that way, was also smiling. All of them were struck with wonder. Now here's Srila Prabhupada's purport. Actually, the incident was wonderful because Krishna was only a child with small hands. He's 3 years old. You're 4 years old, almost 5, right? How old are you? 4. almost 5, right? Yeah. So Krishna at this time was 3. So Prabhupada is saying his hands were small. His body was small and his hands were small. To bind him should have required only a rope not more than 2 feet long. All the ropes in the house combined together might have been hundreds of feet long. But still it was impossible to bind, for all the ropes together was still too short. Naturally, Mother Yashoda and her gopi friends thought, "How is this possible?" Seeing this funny affair, all of them were smiling. The first rope was short by measurement the width of 2 fingers. And after the second rope was added, it was still 2 fingers too short. If the shortness of all the ropes were added together, it must have amounted to the width of hundreds of fingers. Certainly, this was astonishing. This was another exhibition of Krishna's inconceivable potency to his mother and his mother's friends. And Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes in his commentary, all the neighboring cowherd women were laughing. Gopinam Sushmayan Tinam. Yashoda was astonished. Vishmita. Quote, a rope of 100 hastas, which is 150 feet, does not fit around the waist of my son, which measures only 1 fist. And that small waist is not getting any bigger. The rope is certainly not getting any shorter. Still, the rope cannot go around him. That is the first amazing thing. And you know what the second amazing thing is? It's always 2 inches too short. Not 3 or 4 or fingers, but 2 fingers too short. That is the second amazing thing. And that's our reading for this evening. But what has been going on is really extensive commentary on a philosophical point, that is the nature of Krishna's form. And we spent a lot of hours just reading the commentary on that verse 13, 14. And coming up, there's more. The commentary on this chapter is longer than anything I've come across. In part because the philosophical point that's being made, the philosophical points being made, well, it's similar in the Brahma Vimohan Lila, when Brahma shows what Krishna shows to Brahma what he shows. That has lots of commentary too. But the transcendental nature of Krishna's form and the transcendental nature of Mother Yashoda's love gets a lot of attention. So rather than revisiting all of that discussion, because there's going to be more coming up on, the principle is the contradictory nature, apparently contradictory nature of everything that's to do with Krishna, the transcendentalness, the transcendental nature of Krishna. He's the supreme powerful person, and the supreme powerful person, well, we'll touch on it. He has this 3-year-old child form. And at the same time, the statement is being made by Shukadev, he's all-pervasive. At the same time. he, this little boy, and this form that's 3 years old is eternal. But later he changes from babyhood to boyhood to youth. It looks like transformation, shadvikar, the transformations of bodily form, but it's not. It's an eternal form, and an eternal form, and an eternal form. We discussed that rather at length. So now, once that the form of Krishna is identified as transcendental, how is she supposed to bind that which is transcendental with something material? Short, you can't. And then she can't, and then she can. It's something that we discussed earlier. To understand the mystery of Krishna requires an acceptance of Krishna has everything, and the potencies of Krishna are inconceivable and unlimited, or unlimited and inconceivable. And that's part of what Krishna is. To understand Krishna Tattva, we have to understand his potencies, because through his potencies he does everything, material, spiritual, through his potencies. And there's no limit. So he can not only be contradictory things, but simultaneously he can be contradictory things. And it's a puzzle. As Krishna has these puzzle features, so also the devotee has puzzle features. We've been hearing about some of those. I'll mention, because it's a nice topic. Krishna has a spiritual form, and so that's his Swarup. And the Krishna's to Bhagavan Swayam, that spiritual form, the original form of Krishna, is that from which everything comes, including all the expansions, etc. So while Krishna is the source of everything and can expand himself unlimitedly because he has unlimited potencies by which he can do anything, he can expand himself unlimitedly. He can be just like with the Brahma Vimohan Lila. He was just Krishna looking for the cowherd boys and calves. And then he was Krishna manifesting himself as all the cowherd boys and calves. And then he was Krishna manifesting himself as the calves, cowherd boys, and forms of Narayan, and all of the potencies. And then it was Krishna and all of the universes, plural. And then it was just Krishna. So he's manifesting appearances of him in different ways. So whether he's manifesting those appearances of him or withdrawing them within him, even in either case, Krishna is full, and he's not diminished by expanding himself, and he's not increased by withdrawing those expansions. Within Krishna is everything. So, back to this pastime, how is Mother Yasoda to take a piece of rope, 2 feet long, and put it around that which has no limits, that which is all pervasive? Especially when he doesn't want. And that we heard in commentary previously also. There are 2 specific potencies that are blocking Mother Yasoda. We heard just one, Vibhuti Shakti. Vibhuti Shakti is the potency to manifest vibhutis. the potency to manifest opulences. Opulences are vibhutis, and vibhuti shakti is the potency to manifest as opulences. And then Jiva Goswami explains, and Vishwanath says the same, that there's something that triggers the vibhuti shakti to manifest his opulences. And that's his satya sankalpa shakti. Satya sankalpa shakti. His own sankalpa, his own wish or desire or intention triggered vibhuti shakti, triggered his vibhuti, so the rope won't go around. No matter how many ropes she got, 150 feet, 200 feet, won't go around. A waist that's, as she's saying, is the size of a fist. No, it must have been a little bit bigger than a fist, but 2 feet of rope should do it. 150, 250, 200 feet of rope, still too short. So that's his vibhuti shakti. When Krishna doesn't want, it can't happen. And when Krishna wants anything, it can happen. So as the drama unfolds, we heard the Krishna was crying, and she was scolding, and she had friends nearby. They heard the crying and the scolding, so they came with rope, and they came laughing, seeing the fun. When Krishna is doing his mischievous pastimes, the elders, Mother Jasoda's age or peer group, they enjoyed those pastimes. Or say it the other way. Krishna exhibited those pastimes to nourish the happiness of his devotees, of the Vatsalya Rasa devotees. It was for the purpose of their happiness, and he was enjoying happiness from their happiness. Then we heard this really interesting description that when Mother Jasoda was away, rescuing the milk from the stove, he started to cry. He was angry, and he started to cry because he wanted to be fed. So he wasn't just delighting Mother Jasoda, he was actually feeling some feelings, some transcendental feelings. Children are very active by nature. You stay. She hears all these classes, and you don't. She's good. She'll keep peace with the little Indians. So, again, the mischief is for the pleasure of the Vatsalya Rasa personalities. And they're enjoying. They're seeing what's happening and they're smiling. And she sees they're smiling and she's smiling. She's enjoying Krishna's Vibhuti Yoga manifestation. She's enjoying. At the same time, there's contrary motions. She wants to admonish. We'll go back to the very beginning part of the chapter. Hey, kids, you put your masks on. Don't just put them under your chin. Put your mask on. Thank you. You don't mind, do you? We're just because we're mixing together, we want to be on the safe side. Okay. Going back to the beginning of this 9th chapter, the intention of Krishna was to receive the affection of Mother Jasoda in the form of scolding. It's a particular kind of affection. She regularly gave other types of affection, but he wanted that affection, so he got it. She's scolding him. She's got her stick, she's got her rope, she's shaking her finger, she's admonishing him. We heard there's two reasons we heard why she's doing. He's been naughty, and she wants him to understand by discipline this naughtiness is not okay. This evening is a little different than the other evenings. Somehow, the mixture is making a little bit different. So let's go back. The when Krishna is performing his pastimes, there's his enjoyment, and there's the enjoyment of his devotees. And sometimes the spotlight shifts from his enjoyment, and it shifts to the enjoyment of his devotees. And there's a dynamic interplay. Now he's Atmarama. He's fully self-satisfied within. He doesn't need something outside of himself to feel happiness. And at the same time, it's his nature. He's loving. And that's part of his own happiness. And loving means there's two. Himself and his part and parcel, or his expansion, and he's enjoying activities with another. That's love. So there's him there's Krishna and Krishna's devotee and the exchange. That's true for us in our present situation. We're practicing devotional service. Prabhupada has taught us like this. There's three. Servitors served in the medium of service unto the served. And there's reciprocation from the served back to the servitor. So the medium is the exchange. In Rupa Goswami's language, it's alambana. There's the abode of love and the object of love, and the exchange between the two is rasa. Krishna experiences rasa, the devotee experiences rasa. There's an exchange of rasa between the two. So that's even in our practicing stage. That's being developed through the medium of devotional service. And we're getting a look at the mature stage of devotional service, where Krishna is the happiest. He's the happiest because of the very special kind of love of the resident of Vrindavan. The reading of Srimad Bhagavatam, reading of Srimad Bhagavatam is meant to carry us to that same stage of experiencing like the resident of Vrindavan, or preparing us to come to that stage of experiencing like the residents of Vrindavan. Through sound, but the pastimes of Krishna that were being enacted, being narrated by Shukadeva Goswami, is not different than Krishna's enacting his pastimes. Just like when chanting the holy name, Krishna's dancing on our tongue. Now we don't experience that. We don't experience Krishna's pastimes either, not just because it's 5,000 years ago, but those very elevated devotees, just by the process of hearing, they also can experience Krishna's pastimes. They can literally enter into Krishna's pastimes and experience Krishna's pastimes. Very elevated devotees have that capacity. We don't. But the sadhana stage that we are in, by this process of hearing, it's meant to awaken, cleanse the misgivings from the heart, or anarthas, or abhadras, or impurities, and to, at the same time, to awaken the transcendental loving stage. So we're getting a really nice look through sound at the nature of loving exchange in the most perfect stage, the residents of Vrindavan. And particularly for parental affection, Mother Jasoda is the super excellent example of parental affection, motherly love for the object, Krishna. And she has motherly intuition. She wants to, with affection, she wants to train and care for and protect her son, even from his own mischief. She wants to extend that protection and affection. Krishna and Krishna wants it. He wants that parental affection. It's a delight for him. It's part of his happiness, is that loving exchange. although he's full. He doesn't need anything. It's part of his fullness, because she's an expansion of his potencies as well. He is enjoying his potencies through these exchanges with Mother Yasoda. Part of the mystery is childlike and simultaneously divinity, because he wants to play with, he wants to go back to the storeroom and steal butter, and she wants to bind him. So no way. So he's exhibiting his vibhuti shakti, so she can't. But he's in this little baby form, and he's just got finished crying and rubbing his eyes and everything. So there's the childlike, there's the human-like, or the sweetness feature, simultaneously with the divine feature. And she doesn't understand. He's God. It specifically says in that verse that we read so many times, 13:14. She didn't see him as the personality of Godhead. He is the personality of Godhead. She didn't see him that way. She just saw him as her own little child. So he is reciprocating with her mood of love. He enjoys that. He enjoys her enjoying that. She enjoys his enjoying her enjoying being with him in that way. That's one thing going on. At the same time, he's exhibiting his divinity. And then by his own volition, by his Satya Sankalpa Shakti, he withdraws that Vibhuti Shakti and he exhibits another one so she can bind him. Because he has affection for her. He doesn't want to see her struggle and perspire and all of that. So he willingly submits himself. And unless he willingly submits himself, it's not possible. And when he willingly submits himself, anything is possible. So we've been discussing this point, effort and mercy. She's making effort. She's very determined. It's not happening. She doesn't lose determination. And that's an important lesson. When you know that something is to be done, you don't make an over endeavor, but you continue because you know it's to be done. Just today I was listening to a memory video of Tamal Krishnamurti speaking about Srila Prabhupada. You know that Memories series? So he was speaking about Prabhupada called upon him, really, in the early days, to speak something about Prabhupada on his Vyasa Puja day. So for 45 minutes, Tamal Krishnamurti in front of Srila Prabhupada is speaking about Prabhupada for 45 minutes. And he said Prabhupada just listened, and he only interrupted 3 times. And each time he interrupted was on the same point. And the same point was that I received the training how to publish books from my spiritual master. And 3 times he brought it up because he didn't want that to be left out of the narrative on Prabhupada's Vyasa Puja. Meaning, he was carried, he felt, he was an instrument for that instruction. He was carried by the instruction. And it was very important for him to live by the instruction of his spiritual master. And that was a very important instruction that he received, the very important instruction he wanted to be repeated by those who are remembering him and those that are wishing to carry out his wishes. So I'm bringing that up because what does Krishna want? And Mother Yasoda doesn't want anything other than what Krishna wants. A pure devotee doesn't want anything other than what Krishna wants. And Krishna is a contradiction. He doesn't want to be bound. At the same time, he wants Mother Yasoda to scold him. And the scolding is not enough just to, open your mouth. If you didn't eat dirt, let's see, because that happened in the previous chapter. But he wants a more serious kind of scolding. And he wants that emotion of being fearful. And his eyes looking this way, that way. And when she caught him from behind, which yogis can't do, she could do, he confessed, I was naughty. He admitted to wrongdoing, which, he was being like a child. But it was part of the invoking the parental affection of his mother and entering into the exchange with his mother on that platform without losing his divinity at the same time. Very mysterious. Very mysterious. Is one of the, if not the, at least one of the most outstanding qualities of Krishna is Bhaktavatsala. He's kind. He has affection for his devotees. It comes up again and again in different pastimes. Certainly it's in this pastime. He likes to be controlled by his devotee. He likes the kind of devotion that Maharaj Ambarish has, so that he can submit himself fully to Maharaj Ambarish. He likes. It's not that he submits himself fully to somebody that's not his pure devotee, but somebody that's his pure devotee and has that kind of affection he submits himself to. It's very special. And the residents of Vrindavan are those kinds of devotees. And having said all that, then why does he leave? That's a mystery. He should stay. Or if he has to go kill Kamsa, then, go kill Kamsa and come on back. Be with the Brijvasis. He wants to. He knows what they're feeling. Uddhava's telling him, Balaram's telling him, he knows even if they don't tell him. He's feeling the same affection in separation from them as they're feeling for him. And he doesn't go back until much later. And so it's a pastime to come and kill the demons, because if he goes back, then the remaining demons will know, aha, he has affection for the Brijvasis, let's get the Brijvasis. Because that's what people that are mean do. If something is dear to you, you harm that which is dear to you, you've harmed the person. So he didn't go back until the demons were killed. And when the demons were killed, he went back. According to Padma Purana, he went back for 2 months and stayed in Vrindavan. But so it's a puzzle. It's the whole... the nature of Krishna Tattva, is not so easy. It's filled with mystery, and the mystery can be understood by the process of hearing from those that are intimately connected with Krishna, and by having our receivers on, by recognizing. Radha's been discussing this a little bit in her questions about understanding this is not so easy. And it's not easy for a number of reasons. It's not something material, and we can't understand something transcendental except through that descending process through sound. And we're not used to descending process through sound. We're used to using our senses and our mind to sort things out and understand and perceive and get knowledge. So it's another channel, the Krishna channel, by sound vibration. So we'll carry on tomorrow. Let's see if there's some discussion on our topic this evening. Or for that matter, anything. Our host and hostess, you'd like to participate in some discussion? Not yet. Okay. She's got the microphone. Okay, fine. Okay, Radha.
I have only one question. So, why couldn't Krishna just expand just from the beginning?
Why Krishna does what?
Why couldn't Krishna expand himself just from the beginning when he just got born and he went to Raja, or at least some good amount of time, probably when he was 10, let's say.
When he was what?
Let's say when he was 10. Why
10?
can't he?
10 years old.
Why can't he just expand himself in Dwarka, Hastinapur, and whatever else? Other.
He can. Why can't he be in multiple places at the same time?
Yeah.
He could.
But why didn't he want to?
Well, you have to ask him. Part of it is the sweetness of separation, the intensity of love and separation. And he did, another answer to that question is, he did manifest, according to our acharyas, the intensity of the love of the residents of Vrindavan was so great that while they were feeling separation from Krishna, there's a specific term, spurti, that he would manifest before them. And they would continue to feel separation from him.
When Krishna left, isn't that like giving pain?
Didn't what?
Isn't that like giving pain to the Vrajavasis?
Isn't it what?
Isn't.
Of course. Giving pain to him too. Equal. Lover and beloved. Pain.
Okay.
But that from our perspective, that pain seems awful. It's an important lesson in nectar devotion that pain is an ecstasy. That pain is an ecstasy. To you and to me, it's like we don't want it. And to them, they're saying that they don't want it. They want association. But that pain of separation is an ecstasy, is a transcendental ecstasy, which you don't have access to. So to you it looks like, no. It looks like no good.
Thank you.
Okay. Was the sound recording all the while? Okay.
Can I talk with the mask?
Take the just for your question, you take the mask away. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Maharaj. Thank you, Maharaj, for your wonderful class. Question. First question is, you said Krishna doesn't want to do anything that the devotees, pure devotees, doesn't want to do. And
I didn't say that.
maybe-
I didn't say that. The pure devotees don't want to do anything Krishna doesn't want. Krishna will do things wherever he wants.
And maybe I'm paraphrasing, and vice versa also, like pure devotees doesn't want to do anything which Krishna doesn't want to do.
That's right.
Right. So I mean,
But because he left Vrindavan. They didn't want him to leave Vrindavan, and he left Vrindavan. So the first premise that you spoke, he violated what you said.
right.
So it doesn't hold water, the first part.
So but I'm reading Srimad Bhagavatam 10th canto. In that, like Krishna's associates, the cowherd friends, they want to enter into the Talavana forest. They are expressing their desire that they want to express, and they want to go to the Talavan forest, and
They want the tal fruits.
tal fruits.
Whether they go to the forest or not, they want the tal fruits.
Yes, yes, tal fruits. So likewise, I mean, devotees as such can express desire in serving Krishna.
Of course. Oh yeah. We're not stones.
Okay, and of course, like it should, I mean, how to ensure that it is not against Krishna's will, or it's to his liking.
Guru Sadhu Shastra.
Guru Sadhu Shastra.
And if it doesn't line up with Guru Sadhu Shastra, it goes into the wastebasket.
Okay. And second question, you said, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I'm from.
Your memory says that I said.
Yes. So we have to. I'm paraphrasing.
Okay, go ahead.
We have to continue with our determination, even if it's not
Yes.
happening.
Yes.
So determination. So how to
get determination?
and how to increase our determination
How to increase determination?
in serving Krishna, in waiting. I mean, even if things don't go to our prayers.
That's the key. So there's something deeper than how things are going that gives determination. Because things can go this way and things can go that way, and determination isn't depending upon things going this way or that way. What's it depending upon, and how to increase it? It's depending upon, take this little example, the publishing. In the same memories, Prabhupada was sharing with Tamal Krishna Maharaj in a group of devotees, an intimate setting, that everything that he's doing today, he learned from his father. He learned deity worship from his father. He learned musical performance. He learned cooking. He learned scripture. He learned everything from his father, except for one thing, book publication, that he learned from his spiritual master. So his life was carrying out what was wanted by his father and what was wanted by his spiritual master. So that was, in other words, he was in mood of service to those who he looked up to, who saw they're worthy of serving. And that's where determination comes from. It's a relationship. It's a commitment to a relationship. We all want, everybody wants relationship, and loving relationship. So where we repose that loving relationship in a suitable recipient to that loving propensity, then you can be determined. whether it goes this way or that way. He was confident when things were happening that he's doing the right thing. The determination was, he was clear what the instruction was. He had to make different forays this way, that way. The entrepreneurial Prabhupada, some opportunity comes along in making decisions about how to engage in with this opportunity or not, or that opportunity, or etc. So intelligence was given to him resting upon the commitment to the instruction of that relationship, what his father wanted of him, and what his spiritual master wanted of him. And having full faith in their quality, their qualification to follow. Relationship. Determination. Now, there's other things one can do to strengthen determination. One of those is acceptance of austerity. We're looking at Radha now. Acceptance of austerity, it strengthens determination. Prabhupada explains this. And austerity doesn't mean necessarily it hurts. Austerity means you're foregoing one thing to do another thing. You're inconveniencing something that may be comfortable or easy or something. You're willing to step out of that being comfortable into doing something that has a higher purpose to it. And that's controlling the mind and senses. Strengthens determination. By practicing tapasya, it strengthens determination. By practicing tapasya, I remember Radha was asking some time ago, what's the purpose from fasting? And my answer was, so you're hungry. Remember that question? I remember the question. So, but what's the purpose of being hungry? It's so you don't act on the hunger. You're controlling the senses purposefully, devotionally, not otherwise, but so that the bhakti principle can be increased. When that purpose is connected with, then austerity helps to strengthen determination towards that higher purpose, towards the relationship, etc.
Relationship and austerity. Relationship, committing
Yes.
to a relationship
Yes.
and performing austerities.
Yes. Something else? Question?
I'm good for now. Question?
He just wants to hold the microphone.
This may be related to the determination, like what Prabhupada, we have been reading the Lilamrita book, and what Srila Prabhupada went through was very lot of hurdles and difficulties.
Yes.
in accomplishing his spiritual master's instruction.
Yes.
But and the same question Yudhishthira Maharaj asked, like to Krishna, devotees who has taken shelter of you, they have gone through so many hurdles and troubles. But is this like do devotees going through all these things serve as a good example or inspiration for the people taking the bhakti path?
Well, some people may be intimidated, and some people may be inspired. If people want comfort and ease, they'll be intimidated.
Yes.
And if people understand, well, here's a hero, let me follow like the hero, the Shrestha personality. So it can serve different functions depending upon the person who's hearing the description. But it's inspiring. We like what Prahlad Maharaj underwent. It's inspiring.
Yes.
It's not like, I might have to get tortured. But the different circumstances unfold in life. So we can look to great personalities and take inspiration from them. Okay. Do you have anything, either of you? Yes?
Maharaj, my question is follow-up from his question about austerities. So, sometimes it's hard to figure out how much is my capacity or a little bit more than my capacity to do the austerities. It's easy to overdo, maybe in the mood of imitation or somehow go overboard with the austerities also. So what is that fine balance where it's conducive? And I found that if there's more austerity done, then it causes frustration. And even how to decide for the children how much they can handle and how much they should be pushed and how much should I let go.
It's very subjective. For you in one time and you another time. So it's very subjective. Therefore, it's good, just like, how many rounds should you chant when you're beginning chanting. You pick something you can do steadily, and then you can do more, but don't go less. You can do something that's steady. That's a good way to go with pushing yourself. And as far as children, it's or someone else, it's other than yourself, besides children. I mean, your life is centered around your children, but there's other people that we interact with, that you have friends and other new people and this and that. So when it comes to other people, there's the platform of acceptance of where they are and gently encouraging them to grow. You know that one, that little poster of what is a friend. So accepting and encouraging them to grow in ways that are sustainable for them. Little sustainable steps of growth. That's the principle, and then it's quite subjective and it's flexible as well. You like to leave. Yes. 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 And one of the best ways to encourage is to be a good example. Not just outside, but inside. Be a person of good character, and you don't project expectation upon others. You be the example for them. and from that platform, that example is encouragement, and the words are also encouragement. And a good friend is one who encourages by their word and their example. Not push, but encourage. Now, in the case of where there is a relationship, like spiritual master or like parent, then there are circumstances where the spiritual master is duty bound to insist rather than encourage. But, a lot depends upon the relationship. And same with parent and child. But like you, I favor not so much placing some emphasis or stress on something, but encouraging. If something is to be encouraged, and here's a resource for that something that somebody's interested in. Some people, different people are different. Some people, they want an explicit instruction and give something to shoot for, or to strive towards. Anyway, it's relationships. It's quite subjective, but the principle of encouraging is stronger than pushing, especially with young people. Not just young people, maybe particularly young people today, but young people. In relationships. Something else?
So, you were mentioning about
Direct what? Speech. I don't remember.
no, when Gopi's were to be sacrificed,
Yes, okay.
I'm thinking in my context, I'm trying to focus a lot on my expressing, thinking, thoughts. My question is, I have tried both methods, direct and indirect. So, what are some principles that we follow in our community, others? There's no common sometimes if I'm direct, I feel
The starting point in communication is being trustworthy. And through trustworthiness, you establish trust. And when there's trust, you can be very direct. But you have to be trustworthy to have trust, to receive the trust of others, and then you can be as direct as the circumstance requires. And sometimes it's necessary to be patient. That is to say, you let some time pass as far as communication is concerned. You're not withholding information, you're just letting some time pass for the proper time, place, circumstance to communicate. You're looking for some guidelines, and I'm giving you the, it's so diverse and so customized that it's hard to give guidelines. But a guideline is be trustworthy. When you speak honestly. No, speak honestly requires because exactly on the topic that you're bringing up. Speak pleasingly. Speak the truth pleasingly. That's austerity of speech. Speak the truth pleasingly. And that's not easy sometimes because people don't want to hear it, the truth. So then you have to be thoughtful about the relationship, starting with being trustworthy and how much trust is there in the relationship. And then you can be more direct than you would before that trust and trustworthiness has been established in that relationship. That you can't just go by a principle. You have to keep your intelligence operating and guidance from Super Soul, because he'll give the intelligence. And we'll make mistakes because we're imperfect. And part of being trustworthy is when you make a mistake, you acknowledge it. And you try to make amends for that mistake. That's a trustworthy person. It's a characteristic of it. And when someone has that characteristic, then communication is much better. Mutual, back and forth. There's many things to say. Here's another something to say. One of the first rules of communication is be a good listener. Or say the same thing in a different way. Before seeking to be understood, seek to understand. It's a principle of communication. Before seeking to be understood, that's the communication, seek to understand. And if the person understands, wow, she really cares, she wants to know, the heart opens. Then you can communicate, and you communicate in a way that's respectful, not hurtful, truthful, not controlling, not judgmental, but truthful. So, it's be a good listener. It'll help you be a good communicator.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Up front? He has something further? Okay. Give that man the microphone.
So, Maharaj, so in today's class, the Vatsalya or Prem is for Mother Yashoda. only.
And her peers.
And her peers.
Peers.
Okay. So, I read from the Srimad Bhagavatam that Nitya Siddhas and the Sadhana Siddhas, and from the purport, Srila Prabhupada's purport, I see Mother Yashoda, it's a Nitya Siddha, and Mother Devaki is a Sadhana Siddha. So, this is my speculative question. So, in the spiritual world, Mother Yashoda, I see like Mother Yashoda is always the parent for Krishna, and so why not Devaki, Mother Devaki? Like what I'm trying to understand is like the path from the Sadhana Siddha to the Nitya Siddha. Is there a path, or the Nitya Siddhas are always there? There's no transfer. Devotees by performing sadhana can transcend that state from Nitya Siddha, but can get to the state of a Nitya Siddha from Sadhana Siddha.
I'm trying to focus on what's your question, and let me say back what I think your question is. There's let's say it a little bit wider. There's turn it off. There's three categories of perfection. Nitya Siddha, Sadhana Siddha, Kripa Siddha. We're just dealing with these two now. Sadhana Siddha and Kripa Siddha. So your question is, can one transition from a Sadhana Siddha to a Nitya Siddha? Is there a path, a procedure for that? No. Siddha is Siddha. So let's go to the spiritual world. In the spiritual world, there's all three. Nitya Siddha. It's not like I'm a card-carrying Nitya Siddha. I got special privileges. And you're over there, you're a Sadhana Siddha. Sorry, you don't have privileges like I do. So, it's not like that. Siddha is Siddha. Through sadhana, one may become Siddha. Through Kripa, one may become Siddha. Through eternally existing as a Nitya Siddha, one is a Nitya Siddha. You don't become a Nitya Siddha. You become Siddha. But you don't become Nitya Siddha. Because the terms mean something different. But once in that spiritual realm, Siddha is Siddha. Perfect is perfect. Does that address your question? Okay.
You answered like there's no path that's Siddha. Like
Well, the nomenclature indicates Nitya is Nitya. You don't become Nitya. Nitya is Nitya.
And in that, if I remember from the purport, Srila Prabhupada's purport correctly, he says that Mother Yashoda is an expansion of, is Krishna's direct expansion.
Yes.
That's why she's a Nitya Siddha.
Well, there's not. That's not a because. She is a Nitya Siddha. I mean, you're an expansion of Krishna too.
Yes, ma'am.
But she's Nitya Siddha. There's some detail in what you said. Turn it off. Making a lot of noise. There's a detail in what you said that probably needs some refinement. And I'm not sure you're citing what is in Prabhupada's purport exactly correctly. That is, Vasudeva and Devaki are sadhana siddhas. In the past time, they underwent austerity. On the other hand, there in Krishna Loka, Vasudeva and Devaki are eternally residents of Krishna Loka in Mathura. Their expansions may come to this world and do something and become Vasudeva and Devaki in two lifetimes prior to that. Sutapa and Prishni, Kashyapa and Aditi, Vasudeva Devaki, by austerities, by sadhana. So that's that picture, and over here is the other picture. There in Krishna Loka, there's Vasudeva and Devaki. In Krishna Loka, there's Yasoda and Nanda. Now, read carefully, I invite you, read carefully the concluding section of chapter 8. Chapter 8 precedes chapter 9, and at the end of chapter 8, there's a question by Shukadev by Maharaj Parikshit to Shukadev. What austerities have Yasoda and Nanda undergone? And he tells a story of Drona and Dara and the austerities they underwent. And they became Nanda and Yasoda. then there's some detail that takes some time to understand because it's not really, really clear, but it goes like this. In Krishna Loka, Yasoda and Nanda were instructed, please expand yourselves in partial expansions into the heavenly realm, which so they did, Drona and Dara. Drona and Dara underwent austerities, requested Brahma, we'd like to have as the personality Godhead as our son. Very good. You take birth on earth, Krishna is going to appear soon, you can become mother and father. They're partial expansions of Vasudeva, of Nanda and Jasoda. They merged into the body of Nanda and Jasoda, the eternal associates Nanda and Jasoda, who are non-different in his manifest pastimes as in Krishna Loka. A little complicated, right? And then when the pastimes were over, those partial expansions returned to their demigod position. And Nanda, the eternal Nanda Jasoda entered into their uppercut Lila. That is, people couldn't see them, but they're eternally Nanda Jasoda. And Vasudeva and Devaki are eternally Vasudeva and Devaki in Krishna Loka. And then time for Krishna's pastimes and things happen. And the pastimes are over and it's uppercut Lila again. Follow? You think?
I'm good, Mother. Thank you, Maharaj.
Okay, good. We have something over here. Do we have something online? We'll do one more, then go back online.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, this is kind of off topic. Is there a reason why Krishna was the 8th son of Devaki, not the 7th or anything?
Is there a reason why Krishna what?
Krishna was the 8th son of Devaki?
Yeah, because it came after 7. The first 6, you know the story, right? So then number 7 was Balaram. And Balaram was the elder brother, so then came Krishna, number 8. So before the 1 through 7, or even 8, was the child of Devaki will kill you. So why 8? Because the first 6, and then Balaram, and then Krishna. Okay.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Okay. Online, are you ready? Here comes the microphone.
First question is from Sanchari Mataji. Are there varieties of emotions in the spiritual world, or is it mainly Ananda?
Well, they're not contradictory. Ananda can include pain and sorrow and things like that. It can include all varieties of emotion, and they're all blissful.
And are these emotions only able to be fully expressed in the manifest pastimes of Krishna?
No?
Last question from Amara Mataji. Hare Krishna Maharaj, how does Krishna decide when to show divinity and when not?
Oh gosh. He's omniscient, so he knows when to do it and when to not do. The principle is nourishing ecstatic love. And he knows when and when not to. And reciprocating with the particular mood of a particular devotee. A really nice example is Krishna's entering into the wrestling arena of Kamsa, and that so many different persons saw him in different ways. So he's one entity perceived in different ways by different persons according to their heart, and Krishna is reciprocating with their heart. So Krishna knows what someone needs according to their regard for him, and he reciprocates accordingly. So don't worry about it. What the thing to focus on is bhakti, conducting the activities of your life in such a way that you're consciously considering how Krishna will be pleased by each of the things that you do. You're chanting, you're reading, you're serving your family members, and so forth. That's it. You have anything? Radha does. You go ahead. You go first.
Just wondering whether it is possible for us to experience when Krishna is releasing his Vibhuti Shakti and when he's withdrawing and releasing his Kripa Shakti in our life in a tangible way.
Well, we have to make ourselves eligible first of all, because right now we're just like covered by our material desires and the mixed program. So we have to make ourselves eligible, and then when one is eligible, then it depends. Mother Jasoda isn't understanding all of this.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't need to. So it depends. So we have to make ourselves eligible first. Then we'll have some understanding, more or less.
So you spoke about the Satya Sankalpa Shakti as the basis for all other forms of potencies.
I didn't say that exactly. Here's what I said. I said what Jiva Goswami says.
Mm-hmm.
That his Vibhuti Shakti was responsive to Satya Sankalpa Shakti.
Mm-hmm. But then he also said that
there's so many other potencies besides Vibhuti Shakti, is the point. That's one of his unlimited potencies, a category, a group. And there's so many others.
But it seems like behind all of those potencies is the Satya Sankalpa Shakti, because that's the...
Yes and no. Before you assume anything or speculate something, you need to read what our acharyas say about so many potencies,
Mm-hmm.
and it's really like mind-blowing.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't say exactly what you just said, in short.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of his unlimited... Satya Sankalpa Shakti is one of his... It's not that which is the wellspring from which all the others come.
Okay. Is that the same as Ichha Shakti? Or?
It's the nomenclature, they're quite similar.
Mm-hmm.
There are other terms beside Ichha and Satya Sankalpa that sound very similar. And that's the subtle meanings I can't sit here and tell you right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'd have to look carefully what our acharya is saying, because there's refinements of differences. And it's really elaborate.
So are all the categories of energies listed somewhere to study?
No. There's lists of 9, there's lists of 16, there's lists of 33.
Mm-hmm. It would be very interesting to hear about all of these different...
It's in the
varieties of
commentary of our acharyas. And one of the places is in the section where Brahma sees the energies of the personality of Godhead worshipping him. It's in that section of commentary. I think what I could do, I can help you, rather than like going through the whole thing and separating it out. I can just send you that section, the whole chapter, and it's in the chapter. You can sort through it and find it.
Thank you.
Chapter 13, I think. Chapter 13, towards the end of chapter 13. Radha gets the last word.
This is about my mom's question about fasting.
Fasting. One of your
Specifically
favorite
about
austerities. You like austerities, I heard. Like rising early and attending Mangal Arti and chanting japa and go ahead.
Not really Ekadashi though. This is mostly about Ekadashi.
I disturbed her mind. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So when I am very picky about food,
When you're doing what?
I'm very picky about food when it comes to Ekadashi.
I heard you crying the other day about your pickiness with food.
Especially when it comes to Ekadashi, because I don't like quinoa or sabudana, so that's a problem, because that's basically what we
Okay,
cook.
so now back to your question.
Say you can't do it. Is that how will Krishna reciprocate to that?
With which? You're liking being fussy about your diet?
No, about not doing Ekadashi or any other fasting. For example, I don't think I can do gymnastami fasting. So, like, what are the replicates and repercussions?
I didn't get it. Did you get it?
If you are unable to perform the fasting, like Janmashtami,
What to do?
how would Krishna? What would be the repercussion of that?
And there's not repercussion. There's no repercussion. Your progress will be a little slower. You don't get in the penalty box or spanked or something. It's just your progress is a little slower. Because it's a way of making an offering of yourself to Krishna in honor of Krishna. But a young person doesn't. The expectation's not the same as a mature person or an adult. So you're still in the young person category. You have some flexibility. The fact that you're concerned about it, that's a big plus just unto itself. How many people in the world don't even know what Janmashtami is? What to speak of, the austerity of fasting on Ekadasi. So, you do what you can. But the goal is, a wish is to move closer to Krishna in this lifetime. And so if there's something that's doable for any one of us to move closer to Krishna in this lifetime, that's good. We want to try to do that. Of course, in a sustainable, not an extreme, unstable way. Which gets back to your mother's question about, where do you draw the line with things that you're attempting to do? You either do or refrain from. The do's and the do-nots, or the levels of austerity and the volumes of service, and where do you draw the line? Sustainability, and you're always stretching a little bit. That's good. Sustainability and always stretching a little bit. That's good.
I have a follow-up question. Let's say on Janmashtami, or
Last year on Janmashtami.
on Janmashtami or any other fasting day except Ekadashi, something that you fast fully without any eating or just fasting.
There's 4 days a year we do that.
Yeah. So, instead of fasting about from nothing, is there some kind of thing where you fast, like on Ekadashi, we fast without grains? Is there like something that let's say on Janmashtami, you don't fast on fruits, let's say? I don't know if that's a thing.
When somebody's young, those kinds of considerations are very common.
So you get to choose what you don't fast on.
Say it slower.
So you can choose what you don't fast on.
Well, everything is voluntary. You choose all the time. bhakti is voluntary. Now, if you want to know what are nice standards, so let's put it this way: there are degrees of fasting. Let's take Krishna Janmashtami. There are degrees of fasting, and so Nirjala Ekadasi on Janmashtami. So that's and if I'm not saying you, I'm just indicating there's degrees of fasting. Not judging anything. It's just there's a way of looking at there's degrees of fasting. Commonly, in temples when it's not a COVID situation, we have prasadam for our guests that come. We're observing fasting. We know that they're not observing fasting. Many are not. Not everyone. Some people are. Some people aren't. So those that are not observing fasting, we serve prasadam on Krishna Janmashtami. We don't say sorry. We serve prasadam, but it's Krishna prasadam. It's not, restaurant food or something. So there are degrees. So let's say for devotees, it's take nothing, take water, take juice, take fruits, have a meal, midday. Anyway, so there's degrees. It depends upon the person and their capacity and their health situation and their age and so many things.
And is there, a higher respect, or Krishna gives more, what do you call it? Prize? Not really prize, but
Reward?
Reciprocation or reward for the higher things, let's say Nirjala Ekadashi, than the ones where it's only Ekadashi.
A lot depends upon the consciousness behind and not the behavior itself. There are some people that are very stoic. They can take austerities no problem, and their hearts are hard. And some people can engage in austerities; their hearts are soft. So it's the purpose behind more than the reward. The intention is bhakti. The intention is to please Krishna. Say, always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. That's the purpose. So if one is doing something because they're proud, I can do this, I can do that, then they're not remembering Krishna. They're absorbed in their own stuff, their own worthiness or something.
So what you're saying is that it's better to be soft-hearted and do some.
Well, don't go like that. What's best is that you strive to come to the position that pleasing Krishna is your goal of life, and you do it in stages or gradually, progressively, not one big giant jump. So work towards that rather than analyze this back and forth thing that you're doing. Just try to please Krishna as best you can in a sustainable way. Don't get too on the mental platform about it.
Thank you.
Okay? I think we should end. Is that okay? Prabhupada ki jai.